It's a real pleasure for me to represent the Balloon Federation of America at this induction ceremony for the National Balloon Museum. Let you take care of that. I have had the distinct pleasure, both Connie and I, of meeting or knowing each of the inductees that have been made members of the National Balloon Museum. It is a true pleasure to be able to say that. Deke has represented ballooning for many, many years. And we were talking earlier, he was here in the 70s when I first started coming to nationals. I'm sure that we met back then, and it's a distinct pleasure for me to be able to see him again and give him this honor. He began his aviation career in 1951 with the 82nd Airborne during the Korean War. Now, we had an award presented yesterday out at the compound to Dick Drake, who also began his aviation career that same year, 1951. Deke graduated from parachute school at Fort Benning, Georgia, jump master school at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and several other military schools. Now, coming into ballooning from parachuting has to be a letdown of some sort. Can't be nearly as thrilling in a balloon as it can be jumping out of an airplane. He served in a variety of assignments in the 325th Air and in the 82nd until his honorable discharge in 1954. His first sport parachute jump was in 1953. Now, I graduated from high school in 52, so I can relate to that to some degree. Deke founded the California Parachute Club in 1956 and was a member of the U.S. parachute team at the first Adriatic Cup Championship in Montenegro, Yugoslavia in 1957. He's a former president of the Parachute Club of America, so he's been associated with aviation in many avenues. He took up ballooning in 1954 and is commercially certificated in both gas and hot air. Deke founded the Dadius School of Free Ballooning in 1965, the first such school, and he has personally trained over 40 balloon pilots. In 1966, he set world records for altitude, distance, and duration for Class 4X AX4 hot air balloons. He was a co-founder of the Balloon Federation of America, along with two other Hall of Fame members, Peter Pellegrino and Don Kirsten. He was the first editor and set the standard for ballooning, the BFA publication. And that has been a tough standard to follow. Deke received the Founders Award from the Balloon Federation of America in Indianola in 1973 and received the BFA's highest honor, the Shields Trauger Award, in 1975. Deke has flown with both Francis Shield and Bob Trauger, for which that award is named. He was awarded the Sid Cutter Trophy from the Albuquerque Ascension Association in 1976 and the Committee d'Aerostation Safety Award in Paris in 1983. In 1997, the Pacific Coast Aeronauts honored Deke with their Excellence in Ballooning Award and honorary life membership. A member of the Screen Actors Guild, and this is sort of interesting. Deke piloted a Yoast-built Dakota Industries 260,000 cubic foot balloon, sixth place special shape for the 1968 Warner Brothers 7 Arts film, The Great Bank Robbery. Deke was first designated in 1967 as an FAA pilot examiner for balloons, and he has examined and or certificated over 300 balloon pilots. Many of us don't even know that number of balloon pilots. He's currently the LTA, Lighter Than Air Pilot Examiner and Accident Prevention Safety Counselor for the San Jose, California FSDO. He is a BFA accredited instructor and has lectured at balloon safety seminars on both coasts, in the Midwest, and in Europe. The following information, provided by a mutual friend of Deke's and mine, sums up why Deke Sonnichsen has been designated as the member of the Ballooning Hall of Fame. Dear Jim, I think one of Deke's unique accomplishments is the Wammo-Bast event. It is the longest continuous ballooning event in the country, and they say in the world, and there's no question about that. What I think he is the proudest of is the goodwill that this event has generated for ballooning. There has never been a serious problem in the history of the 43 years of the event, including no significant landowner problems or balloon accidents. While it has moved to several locations over its history, it has always enjoyed a great deal of community support. For more than 25 years, the event, which hosts 50 balloons, has been held in Coalinga, California, a small rural farming community in Central California. The event is unique in that it asks nothing from the communities. There are no sponsors, and the pilots often recruit crew from the locals who have become perennial attendees to watch the balloons. Extra food brought in by the participants is donated to the local food bank, and frequently pilots inflate on the field to give tether rides to the local kids. It goes on to say, I hope this helps. I wish I had the time to FedEx you a special Wammo-Bast event t-shirt crafted in Deke's honor. It consists of a balloon special shape bust of Deke, a real tribute to him from the balloonists in the West who admire and respect his contributions to ballooning. That was sent by Tim Brady, BFA board member from California, and we both know Tim very well. Deke, it's my honor to present to you the plaque indicating your membership in the National Ballooning Hall of Fame.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations.
What an ugly dude. Thank you all for being here, aeronauts. It's great to be here. It's great to see you. I won't chat long, but I will say again, thank you very much. As we part this gathering, that is me and you, we're going to do a little discussion, a little chant, a little cheer, a little invocation. One word, and we do it every year at Wammo-Bast. We do it just at the end of the pilots meeting before people go to inflate and go flying, and that is aerostation. Before I do that, are there any questions any of you have? Ma'am.
Did you ever believe that you'd be here when you started out in ballooning?
Question was, did I ever believe I'd be here? I believed that I would be back to Indianola. Honest to Pete, until I got the call from the BFA president, I didn't know that a Hall of Fame existed. I knew the museum existed that started on the campus way back when, and I hadn't been out here. So I knew I'd come back, but I certainly was surprised and didn't ever believe that I belonged in the Hall of Fame. Any other questions? Ma'am.
Would it be fair to ask you what the high point in your career is?
This is probably it. That was the question was, what's the high point of your career? Okay. Seriously, the high point of anyone's career is waking up on another day. And giving God thanks for that. So, I accept this. Aye, sir. How many years? Well, 71 was the first year. I thought it was 72, but it was actually 71. I did not come here in 70 when the balloonists practiced here, but flew at the state fair in Des Moines. And they loved Indianola. Gary.
Just a question.
Yeah.
I think have Becky have anything on me. So what is this amplifier?
Okay. We'll get to that. I started in 71, and I came all of the 70s, I mean, every year, and into the 80s, and I think about 86 was the last year that I came here and I got busy doing other things. So it's 15 or 20, 15, 16 years, I guess. Yep. Okay. What is anvil firing, Gary Blum? No, not Gary Blum. He's Gary Rubel. Gary Blum is a FAA guy in San Jose. Gary asks, what is anvil firing? Anvil firing, briefly, goes back to the siege of, or the Spanish Inquisition. Now we're talking in like the 1580s, when the Spaniards were trying to come and invade and take over, Spaniards trying to take over England, the English Isle. And so to warn the populace out in little villages, the village smithy would use black powder, pack the aperture in the anvil, fire the anvil to let the populace know that, say, something bad was going to happen with the Spaniards coming, hide your stuff, get out of town, do whatever, but a warning. So it was communication. It came to the USA when, in the early days of the colonial period, way before we were a republic. It was during the British period when the colonies were being established. And the smithy, on a pair of anvils, you have to take the bottom anvil, invert it. There's an aperture there. You pack black powder in that, fuse, playing cards for gasket material, anvil over the top, light it, get back, bang, or boom. It's as loud or louder than a cannon. And it's 360 degrees of radiated sound and pressure. Cannon just goes one way. And don't stand downwind if you're close. So that's anvil firing, and it moved west, and it's been going on in California since the 1800s, in the mid-1800s. We've got records of when California became a republic, 1846, before it was a state. It was still Mexico at the time. But the Bear Flag Rebellion happened in Sonoma. Sonoma, yes. The Bear Flag was created, and the anvil was fired on the square 14 June 1846 as a celebration on the 4th of July. And the 9th of July, they ran down the Bear Flag and ran up the Stars and Stripes. So that's celebration. So we got communication, celebration, and any other C you want to throw in there. So that's it. How come in Wamo Bass we fire the anvil? Yeah, I hope you didn't think it was tattooed on my chest. But you can see there's the aperture, flip on the ground, black powder. We call the pilots together. Here we are spread out on a university grounds, just similar to Simpson, at the West Hills College. There are 40, 50 balloons spread all over, no PA system. How do you get them together to start the pilot meeting at 0630? You fire the anvil. And so we've been doing that for a long, long time. Works every time. Okay. Anything else? If not, we're going to do aerostation. We normally jump up and point to the sky, but you don't have to do that. We'll do this as a seated aerostation. I'm going to do a count, a 1, 2, 3, so just point up and say, aerostation, in a loud, clear, and distinct voice. Is that okay? Okay, a 1, a 2, a 3. Aerostation! Great. Thank you.